Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream of mine. For those who don't know who I am, Faisal Milenkovic, I run a marketing agency in Europe, Austria, in the smack center of it. I've got clients in the German-speaking area, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and some, but only a few in other countries and in the USA. And this is my live stream. As a marketing agency owner, one of the most important things for me is to be in the loop, to stay informed about all the different platform changes, algorithm changes, what is changing in the market, and so on. And because of that, I invest a significant portion of each day, almost each day, on research, reading stuff, newspapers, technical editorials, just all kinds of stuff to influence my thinking and to not miss anything. Sometimes I even go through old basics just to make sure that I stay in the loop. And I thought recently it could be an interesting experiment, instead of doing that all in my little silent chamber alone, to live stream myself, record the articles that I read, and to give additional information for everyone who's interested, like my opinion, my expertise, my experiences, some of the other thoughts I might have to the different articles. And so I started this little live streaming session. I promised myself to do 100 live streams, and then I will judge, is it interesting or not, should I continue or not, we will see. So if you like this concept, leave a like, leave a comment, do something, and we'll be jumping right into the first article directly. As usual, the articles are not pre-read. I don't quite know what they're about. If you watch the live sessions, you will see it's often just from news hubs. I just read the headline, think, oh, that could be interesting. Or it's a further link from an article to the next article, something like that, okay? And with that, we're going to jump right into the first one. Let's start here. What is this? So, first article of the day. 9 business ethics. Why transparency matters more than ever. Sounds interesting. Business ethics, important topic in general. So let's jump right into it. By socialmediaexplorer.com, by the way. Can you guys read it well? I think that's better. All right, great. The advanced and highly interconnected world, businesses are under increasing scrutiny. I think there is an in missing. Customers, investors, and stakeholders are no longer satisfied with just the products or services a company provides, where they are paying attention to how companies conduct themselves. Transparency in business ethics is no longer luxury. It has become a necessity. From trust building to regulatory compliance, transparency helps businesses navigate the modern landscape, fostering long-term success and sustainability. In this blog, we will explore why transparency matters more than ever in business ethics, examining its various aspects and the significant impact it can have on a company's reputation, customer loyalty, and overall growth. Okay, sounds interesting. I personally made good, really good experiences and results once I started to be not completely transparent, but when I started conducting my business in the sense that I thought, okay, what if someone follows me with a camera all day, every day, during each decision and broadcasts it live? Would I do the decision still, yes or no, if it was public? And I realized it changed a few decisions that I made, and all of them were to the better. Business ran much better ever since I did that. Just saying. The trust factor. Building stronger relationships with customers. Okay. Also, stay hydrated. Trust is the foundation of any successful relationship. And business relationships are no different. Customers expect businesses to be upfront and honest about their operations, practices, and intentions. Transparency is a key element in building and maintaining this trust. When companies are transparent about their business practices, it shows they have nothing to hide, making customers feel safe and valued. One of the most common ways transparency manifests is in how a company communicates its pricing, product sourcing, and sustainability efforts. I would say things like customer service and so on, and the negative aspects of the product or service are also quite important. Transparency fosters accountability. When businesses make their practices visible to the public, they also become accountable for their actions. Transparency forces companies to adhere to higher standards, knowing they are being observed. It also ensures that any mistakes or shortcomings are addressed quickly and effectively, and urbansplatter.uk like resources provide more related information. Okay, gotta look up what that is. What is that? Well, we'll see it later. Regulatory compliance, meeting ethical standards. In an era of growing regulatory pressure, businesses are required to be more transparent than ever before. From financial reporting to environmental impact disclosures, companies are expected to meet strict legal standards. Transparency helps companies comply with these regulations, ensuring they operate within the bounds of the law. The increasing importance of corporate social responsibility also ties into regulatory expectations. Companies that voluntarily disclose their environmental footprint, labor practices, or community involvement not only enhance their credibility but also show they are willing to go beyond compliance. Attracting and retaining top talent. Transparency in business ethics is not just crucial for external stakeholders, where it also plays a significant role in employee relations. Companies that are transparent about the culture, mission, and values tend to attract employees who align with these principles. Job market and transparency is about the company's goals and strategies helps employees feel more connected to the organization. Moreover, transparent internal practices help retain top talent. Employees are more likely to stay with a company that values open communication and demonstrates integrity in all its dealings. It reduces turnover rates and fosters a positive workplace culture where employees feel valued and respected. I think this is quite. I made that experience in quite a few of the projects and businesses I was in and NGOs, where if the people are aligned and you can declare, hey, the decision we make is on par with our values and the long-term strategy and our goals, then it works much better. If you have inside your organization always this, hey, why are we doing this? Oh, we gotta keep it secret because the people might be against it, because this is like not shady stuff, but it might undermine what we stand for if it became public. Or this is really an unpleasant situation to be in. Really, and you might really lose some of the best people you have, because often the best people are not motivated just through money. They often align with the values, with the goal, with something beyond the money. And if you undermine that reason, they can really lose all motivation. Navigating the digital age. Why transparency is crucial for online businesses. The rise of social media and online platforms has revolutionized the way businesses interact with the customers. On one hand, this creates new opportunities for engagement and growth. On the other hand, it means businesses are constantly under the watchful eye of the public. Negative comments, reviews, or even rumors can spread like wildfire, and businesses that are not transparent may struggle to maintain their reputation in the digital age. Online businesses in particular need to be transparent about their data collection practices, privacy policies, and customer support. This, as I said, customer support. See, because it's an important aspect of how do we deal with customer issues, with product issues, with all of that kind of stuff. It's really an important aspect. This not only ensures legal compliance, but also builds trust in a digital environment where skepticism about online privacy and security is high. Customers who feel their personal information is handled with care and transparency are more likely to return for future business. Transparency is a competitive advantage. In a crowded marketplace, businesses need to differentiate themselves to stand out. Transparency in business ethics can be a powerful tool to set a brand apart from its competitors. Companies that openly share their values, challenges, and successes create a narrative that resonates with consumers. By consistently communicating transparently, a business builds a brand image centered on trust and integrity, qualities that can often be the deciding factor for consumers choosing between multiple options. Transparency enhances long-term sustainability. In the quest for short-term profits, many companies overlook the importance of long-term sustainability. However, Businesses that embrace transparency are better positioned for sustained success. By openly sharing their sustainability goals, ethical sourcing practices, and community engagement efforts, companies signal their commitment to creating a positive, lasting impact on the world. Transparency, especially regarding environmental and social governance factors, is becoming a key criterion for investors. Companies that demonstrate a genuine commitment to sustainability and ethics attract investors who are interested in long-term growth rather than quick short-term gains. The role of technology in promoting transparency. Advancements in technology, especially blockchain and data analytics, have made it easier for businesses to share information transparently. Blockchain, for example, provides a secure and immutable way to track and share data, from product sourcing to financial transactions. The technology can be used to verify claims about sustainability, ethical sourcing, and even product authenticity, offering businesses a reliable way to prove their commitment to transparency. For businesses, adopting these technologies can enhance their credibility and show they are staying ahead of the curve in terms of both innovation and ethical business practices. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the tools available for promoting transparency, making it an increasingly integral part of business ethics. Conclusion? In short, the significance of transparency in business ethics cannot be overstated. From building trust with customers and employees to meeting regulatory standards and gaining a competitive edge, transparency is the key to fostering lasting relationships and long-term success. As businesses continue to navigate an increasingly complex and connected world, embracing transparency will not only be a legal obligation, but a strategic decision that will shape their future. Transparency should be integrated into every aspect of a company's operations, from internal communications to public relations, and should be a fundamental part of its core values. Okay. By a full editorial. Okay. I like the article. Not bad. Not bad article. Yes, I think ethics and transparency are important because the values that you have as the company will be shining out. And I think a really important aspect that way too many people underestimate is attracting talent that way. Like, what are your goals? What are your values? Are you a family-driven company that really respects work-life balance? Or are you a meritocracy with 60, 70, 80-hour weeks where you say, hey, we want to be excellent, the best of the best and nothing else? It's like, if you communicate all of that straight out ahead, then you will get the people who think, hey, this is something for me. This fits for me. Now, I think that's good. I mean, the legal compliances, you're not really that transparent if it's a legal demand already, because then everybody's doing it. Okay? I think usually you win because you do the little bit extra, the thing that no one asked for. That's where you win, my opinion. So with that interesting article, the link to the article will be in the description below as usual. If you like what I do, if you enjoy me going through these articles, please support the channel, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow the channel. It's 1 or 2 clicks for you, costs you absolutely nothing, but it helps me tremendously and gives me the signal that you want me to keep doing this live streams. And with that, we jump right into the next article. Wish you all the best. With that, let me just save it. For those of you who are new, yes, I keep the comments. I save up every article that I read. I've got my little notes sheet on the side, because that way it makes it easier for me to later on have the name and the link and everything when I post it on my YouTube channel. Also, let me post the link into the chat so everyone can read it. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. There we go. One of the things I'm not sure yet how to work is the LinkedIn comments. The LinkedIn comments are really weird. I don't quite understand why. It's really weird still. I don't like that because I post it, but I don't see it. And when I rewatch the whole video, it's like it's not showing the comment in the moment that it should be posted. Really, really weird a bit, you know? So that's not a screenshot. Next article. Ah, it was Urban Splatter. This is something I'm supposed to look at. I don't mind missing the link. Yeah. Okay, interesting. From there we go. Next article. Article from socialmediaexaminer.com. Applying behavioral science for improved conversions by Michael Stelzner. Okay, as some of you know, I'm a big fan of psychology and research papers. I often go through the news research, neuromarketing, behavioral science, all of those things I think are great and give us quite a few nice and interesting insights. So let's see what this article gives us. Can you guys see it well? Wait, let me just make it a bit bigger. There. Better? I hope it's better to read. Struggling to convert interested prospects into paying customers. Wondering why your perfectly logical marketing messages aren't driving the results you expect. In this article, you'll discover how to apply behavioral science principles to improve your pricing strategy, enhance quality perception, and increase conversions. All right, sounds nice. Why behavioral science matters for marketers. Okay, I'm just wondering if I should get rid of this, but it doesn't trouble us too much. Why behavioral science matters for marketers. Absolutely. If you work in marketing or advertising, you're fundamentally in the business of behavior change. Every campaign you create attempts to get people to switch from a competitor brand, pay more for your products, or buy more frequently. Each of these goals requires your audience to change its behavior. I would also say you want people to change their behavior because a new problem solving mechanism is presented to them. Something like, oh, you want to lose weight, or you want to become a better salesperson, or you want to be more liked, or you want to look better, or all of these kind of things. Behavioral science is the experimentally based, robust study of what effectively influences people's behavior. This field doesn't examine what people claim influences their decisions, but rather what actually drives their actions. For marketers, this distinction is critical because it reveals the gap between what consumers say they want and how they actually behave. And this is often a very, very, very big gap. I told you guys on other videos of mine, I've experienced it again and again and again. Customers say X. Oh, we think X is really important and Y doesn't matter at all. Then you focus on X and you lose sales. On the other side, you get rid of Y and you lose sales because people often are not even conscious of their own biases and what really drives their decisions. By understanding and applying these principles, you can work with human nature rather than against it. How humans actually make decisions. Before applying behavioral science to your marketing, you need to understand a fundamental truth about human decision making. People tend not to make decisions in a deeply thoughtful, well-considered way. I would say I wouldn't subscribe to this. They're not consciously doing that. I think it works way better when you accept that the people have really well reasons to do what they do. They have great heuristics, they have great logical reasons. It's really, really awesome mechanism behind it that makes them take these decisions, but it's not the conscious part that does it. That's important to know. It's not the conscious part. Susan Fiske at Princeton describes people as cognitive misers. What she means is that humans try to ration deep, considered thought. For most decisions, people rely on quick, intuitive judgments rather than careful analysis. Her former colleague Daniel Kahneman puts it more colorfully when he says that thinking is to humans as swimming is to cats. We can do it, but we'd prefer not to. From an evolutionary perspective, energy is a scarce resource. We have evolved to ration energy usage, and because thinking is energy intensive and effortful, we don't deeply consider most problems. Instead, we make decisions in a snap, quick, intuitive way using what psychologists call heuristics, or what most people would simply call rules of thumb. For marketers, these rules of thumb are particularly interesting because they're prone to biases. When discussing biases in this context, the term doesn't refer to negative prejudices. Prejudices? Ah, man. Wait. Prejudices. Instead, it describes the way people deviate from purely logical purchasing behavior. For example, social proof is a bias. Rather than weighing up purchase decisions based solely on their own preferences, people take a shortcut by thinking about what other people are doing. So one of the most fail-safe ways of making your product more appealing is creating the impression that lots of other people are buying it. Well, this is one of those examples where, but it is a very logical thing behind it. Yes, it's not a conscious logical thing, but if you consider the alternative, I can eat something. Here's a bush with berries that no one has ever tasted. And here's a bush with berries that I know all people that I know have eaten from that and are still healthy and they say it tastes great. Is it really a non-logical thing to prefer to eat from the bush that has the berries that I know everybody else ate from? I think putting it as non-logical is a bit of an issue here. Yes, it does not mean that it will automatically always be the better berry, tastes better or healthier or whatever. But it is absolutely, even if not conscious, it is in itself a logical heuristic. It is a very efficient heuristic, and it is a very, very smart way to make decisions in situations where I don't have all of the information. So putting it as not logical, I think, is a bit of, we make a mistake and don't use the abilities we have and all of these different signals if we just label them as non-logical. I think if we accept them on an evolutionary basis as absolutely powerful and logical and very smart, then we start treating them differently. At least that's how I see it. If you know what these biases are, you can design your advertising, create your products, and structure your campaigns to align with how people actually make decisions. Three of the most powerful applications involve pricing psychology, quality perception, and conversion optimization. Number one, 3 ways to use pricing psychology in your marketing. Pricing represents one of the most direct applications of behavioral science because price shapes perception in ways that defy pure logic. Raising your price versus discounting your price. A fascinating study by Baba Shiv at Stanford demonstrates how price creates expectations that become self-fulfilling. In his experiment, Shiv served people 5 different bottles of wine, each with a very prominent price label. The twist was that sometimes people drank a Merlot they thought came from a $5 bottle and rated it as tasting awful. Later they thought they were drinking a different Merlot from a $45 bottle, but it was actually the exactly same liquid. Even though the wine was physically identical, the ratings were 70% different. People rated the supposedly expensive wine 70% better. The adjectives they used to describe the wines changed completely based on price alone. As you can see, there it goes. Really one of a very, very interesting dynamic that you have again and again and again. Dehydrated, my friends. Shiv's argument is that we experience what we expect to experience. One of the strongest factors setting expectations is price. People have a deeply ingrained rule of thumb that high price equals high quality. When you approach a situation with expectations, you actively look for confirming evidence. Completely different topic, but that is also why this victim mentality is one of the most dangerous things. If you're a foreigner, a minority, a woman, all of these kind of things, you will always find reasons that you think you were treated worse because of that if you look for it. Always. You will always find a reflection of that if you look for it. In Shiv's study, people expecting the wine to taste brilliant interpreted subjective feelings like tannin in the mouth as evidence that it had a proper body and had been aged appropriately. Those who thought it came from a $5 bottle attributed the same tannin to the wine being unrefined and cheap. For brands, this opens up unexpected opportunities. If you're not selling as much as you want, behavioral science suggests You should test increasing your price before you consider discounting it. You might be fortunate enough that the increased perception of quality leads to greater demand. Mhm. There are many case studies of this on the. You can find a lot of them. Making your price feel smaller. Once you've set your price, you need to make that price as appealing as possible. One powerful tactic is breaking the price into the smallest possible unit. This approach, known as the pennies a day effect, was first studied by John Gerville at Harvard back in 1998. Gerville worked with charities and recruited people, randomizing them into different subgroups. Some people were asked if they would donate $356 a year, and then uptake was very low. Other people were asked if they would donate $1 a day for the rest of the year, and uptake was much higher. This principle translates across categories. You always see it like for $2 a day instead of 60 a month and so on. So it works really well. Or instead of the yearly budget of $12,000, it's hey, for just $990 a month, we can do this service for you. In a 2015 replication study using car rentals, some people saw a car with the annual price of $1,686. Other people saw the same car with the daily price of $4.57. When asked how good a value they thought the car was, only 11% of those who saw the annual price thought it was a good value. In contrast, 51% of those who saw the daily price thought it was a good value. The same product received nearly 5 times more favorable ratings simply by changing the unit of price. The explanation relates to how people process information. People are very good at understanding concrete things, but very bad at understanding abstract ideas. Throughout most of human evolutionary history, we dealt with concrete dangers, not abstract concepts like compound interest. When you hear $1 a day, what springs to mind is something concrete, like a cup of coffee. When you hear $365 a year, what comes to mind might be a mini vacation. What people don't do is multiply the dollar a day by 365 to create an equivalent comparison. The entire market of services like Klarna and Afterpay is built on this foundation. When you visit a fashion retailer today, you might see an option to spend $100 on a sweater, or you might see 3 payments of $35 with Klarna or Shop. People respond completely differently to 100 versus 3 lots of payment. As you can see here, paying 4 interest-free installments of $90. This approach also pushes later payments into the future, which taps into present bias. We are deeply influenced by pleasure or pain affecting us now or very soon, while we discount pleasure or pain that will affect us in the medium or long term. This explains why people go into debt, why credit card companies do so well, and why people don't save enough for retirement. If you want people to respond as positively as possible to your price, don't say your software costs $365 a year. Say it costs $365 a year, which is the same as $1 a day. If you have multiple users, break it down per user. The key is to make the smallest possible number the most prominent in people's minds. For businesses offering subscriptions, you can still push annual plans while using the pennies a day effect to make them more appealing. You don't have to sacrifice business preferences to apply behavioral science. Steering people toward the middle option. Another powerful pricing principle is extremeness aversion, which describes how people tend to opt for the middle option when given 3 choices. Amos Tversky demonstrated this in 1992. He showed people 2 cameras. The basic camera cost $169, and the fancier camera with more features cost $239. When people chose which one to buy, there was an exact 50-50 split. Tversky then recruited a completely fresh group of people and showed them the same 2 original cameras at the same price with the same benefits, but he introduced a super premium camera at $469. A few people picked that super premium option, about 21%. The fascinating change occurred in how people viewed the original 2 cameras. Previously, those 2 cameras were chosen at 1-to-1 ratio. With the addition of the super premium option, the ratio shifted to 1-to-3. The very basic camera dropped to 22% of sales, while the premium camera, now the middle option, jumped to 57% of sales. What Tversky demonstrated is that people don't just pick based on the price, quality, and inherent attributes of a product. They are deeply influenced by what that product is surrounded by. The rule of thumb is that people don't want to go for the cheapest option because it might be low quality and they look mean. They also don't want the most expensive because it's probably over-engineered, overpriced, and they look like a show-off. People gravitate toward the middle. Important caveat, there were other studies about this topic. It seems to not work as well on people on the spectrum, autism and everything. So they seem to be way more objective, and all of these little tricks don't seem to work that well on them. I've got a video on that on my channel where I went through 1 or 2 studies about that. The middle price of $239 is approached very differently depending on whether there are 2 options or 3 options. When compared only with $169 camera, it looks $100 more expensive and consumers think they're being wasteful. But when you've added the super premium $469 camera, people can now reframe the $239 as a $200 saving compared to the most expensive option. If you have a monthly offering and an annual offering and you want people to pick the annual one, consider adding a 2-year or 4-year purchase option. Hardly anyone will pick it. Its role isn't to be picked. Its role is to reframe what the annual option looks like. Now, the annual option doesn't look like much of an inconvenience or too long a time period because it's a year or 2 years less than the really long option. Understanding pricing psychology allows you to present your offerings in ways that naturally guide customers towards decisions that benefit both them and your business. However, price is only one factor in purchase decisions. Customers also need to believe in your product's quality. Point 2. 2 ways to establish your product as a quality option. While pricing sets expectations, your ability to convey quality determines whether those expectations are met. Behavioral science reveals 2 counterintuitive approaches to building quality perception. Showcasing your development investment. When people judge a product, they are influenced by how much effort they think went into creating that product. In a study for the book Hacking the Human Mind, gotta look this up. Researchers recruited 282 people and showed them a beautifully designed bottle of vodka from a fake brand called Black Sheep Vodka. Some people just saw the beautiful bottle and were asked how gorgeous they thought it was. 70% thought it was amazing. Then another group of people saw exactly the same imagery, but they were told the designer had gone through 143 iterations before getting to this design. The proportion of people who thought it was beautiful jumped to 23%. That's a 35% improvement in ratings for exactly the same product and exactly the same image, judged differently simply because people thought lots of effort had gone into it. Really interesting. That's also where we can think why document, not create, is such a strong way of doing social media content. Like, hey, show the background of all the work that is put into the stuff, all the research and everything. Really interesting aspect. But also, you can see my bookshelves behind it. I've got 2 bookshelves full of books. I think like over 20,000-30,000 euros at this point on value of books. I've got from Milgram, the book. One very important caveat to consider in all of these studies are made with volunteers. Which means you have people who read somewhere, hey, do you want to volunteer for a study? And they say yes. This is already a pretty big sorting mechanism. So we don't know in any of these studies, in any of this research, none of that, how people would react who have the personality of saying, nah, I won't volunteer to these kind of things. Just saying, okay? That's why doing your own experiments still is worth it, because you will have clients. Many of the people who buy your stuff might be the kind of people who say, I would never volunteer for such a study, okay? Andrea Morales at the University of Southern California, who first explored this concept, explains that judging quality is a complex question. People are cognitive misers looking for shortcuts. When faced with a complex question, people replace it with a simpler one that gives them an almost as good answer. If actually judging beauty or quality is the complex question, the simpler question becomes, how much effort do I think this designer invested? We use effort as a proxy for quality. Dyson provides one of the best examples of applying this principle. This company created an entirely new market for premium vacuum cleaners priced around $300. Dyson is absolutely brilliant at constantly reiterating that they went through 5,127 prototypes to get to the bagless vacuum. This figure appears in the original advertisement. Their website features extensive stories about this effort. The public relations team keeps reiterating this narrative. It's even the very first line of James Dyson's autobiography. Dyson, relentlessly engineer. James Dyson started his journey in a coach house, gaining inspiration for the first ever cyclones from a sawmill, creating 5,127 prototypes to reach the first bagless vacuum. Since then, we're still striving to be better, but now on a larger scale. Our engineers always start the product development process with a problem. Our team spent months inventing the most radical solutions to a defined problem, regardless of what has gone before or what the solution should look like. From bagless vacuums to air treatment and pioneering hair care technology, every component on a Dyson machine has been developed through years of hard work, investment, and inventive thinking. Pioneering and patented technology is something that we take great pride in at Dyson, and each day we continue to improve our machines and their impact on our day-to-day lives. Now this sounds like they are putting in effort. Respect. But Dyson doesn't rely solely on telling people about its effort. They also apply the labor illusion through physical designs by being physically transparent. When you buy a Dyson vacuum, you can see into its inner workings. You can see the dust being sucked up. Most vacuums before Dyson had a beige opaque casing where you couldn't see what was going on inside. That transparency is a direct application of the labor illusion. Knowing the work going on makes us appreciate it more. Research by Buell and Kim at Harvard supports this approach. They asked diners to rate the quality of their meals. Sometimes the diners could see into the open plan kitchen and watch the chefs at work. Other times they were sitting around the corner and couldn't see the chefs working. There was a significant difference. People who could see the kitchens rated the dishes higher, even though it was the same food from the same batch. Because the effort was made visible, it was rated higher. Really interesting. I'm curious about the concept of sprezzatura here, where it should look effortlessly, because the more effortless it seems, the more professional and expertise you have. So this is a really interesting call of two different spectrums, a spectrum of extremes. Should you show how hard you work to make the quality seem better, or do you want to seem effortless to be much more of an expert and master in the field? Really interesting. The takeaway for businesses is that the service you create or the product you generate won't be judged just on its own merits. If you want to get the best possible reception, you need to let potential buyers know about the number of prototypes you went through, the years of experience you put into it, or the different designs you created. Whether through copywriting that stresses prototypes, physical designs that reveal inner workings, or website features that showcase the creative process, be transparent about those efforts and you reap the rewards. This isn't a recommendation to create fictitious stories. Most brands go to great length in their product development, but they have mistaken belief that if the product is good enough, they don't need to tell people about the process. Study after study shows that isn't the case. Highlighting your flaws. Another surprising quality principle involves the pratfall effect. This concept states that if you admit a flaw, you become more appealing. The best brands have taken this further by carefully identifying their core strength and then admitting a weakness that actually emphasizes that core strength. An absolutely amazing campaign that demonstrates this started in Canada in 1986 for Buckley's cough syrup. At that time, this family-owned brand was not the biggest cough syrup in the market. It was tiny and inconsequential. Then they launched a new creative campaign with the tagline, "It tastes awful and it works." For the last 39 years, Buckley's has gone to increasingly crude, creative, and funny ways of stressing how foul this cough syrup tastes. For example, one advertisement says the largest bottle they sell is 200 milliliters, adding that anything larger would be cruel. 10-year challenge, how cute. Here's to 100 years of awful tasting effectiveness. 1919-2019. It's quite known that medication that tastes bad seems to be more accepted and has even a better placebo effect. What makes this approach effective is that they're not just admitting a flaw in the product. They are thinking strategically about what they really want to convey, which is efficacy, and potency. Once they made that their badge of quality, they had identified the weakness that serves as a mirror to the strength. When you tell people you taste foul, there's an automatic assumption that the trade-off is probably exceptional potency. This is a massively underused tactic for boosting quality perceptions. Think about what your core strength is, and then consider what weakness you could admit that might emphasize that strength. Maybe you emphasize thoroughness by acknowledging you're slow, like Guinness does with good things come to those who wait. Or maybe you emphasize exclusivity by acknowledging you're expansive. The key is finding the flaw that serves as evidence of your greatest strength. Once you've optimized your pricing and established quality perception, the final challenge is converting interest into action. This is where many marketing efforts fall short, even when they've successfully generated motivation. Number 3, how to use behavioral triggers to convert consumer intent into customer action. Just let me see. Yep. All the cheats working. All the chats working. Great. Just got to check it out every now and then, So, even when you've successfully generated interest in your product and motivated potential customers, that motivation doesn't automatically convert to sales. This challenge is known as the intention to action gap, and understanding how to bridge it is crucial for improving conversions. A classic 2002 study by Sarah Milner, I hope I'm not butchering the name, at the University of Bath demonstrates this gap perfectly. Milner was interested in how to get people to exercise, so she recruited 248 people and split them into 3 groups. The first group came to a lab where they received a diary. Milner told them to fill in the diary over the next 2 weeks, writing down every time they exercised. When those people came back 2 weeks later, 35% of them had exercised at least once a week. That established the baseline. Milner wanted to see how to boost this number, so her next group of people came into the lab, received the diary, and then watched a motivational film about why exercise is amazing, how it would change their lives, make them feel energetic, and increase their longevity. People watched the film and reported feeling enthused and motivated to exercise. But when they came back 2 weeks later, the numbers had barely changed. Only 38% were exercising, up from 35%. Even though they said they were going to exercise and claimed they were really keen, their behavior hardly changed at all. This demonstrates the intention to action gap. Motivation, according to Milner, is a necessary but not sufficient condition for behavior change. You need to add something else. For the final group of people, Milner invited them to the lab, gave them the diary, played the motivational film, and then had those people make what a psychologist would call an implementation intention. He asked people to specify when, where, and with whom they were going to exercise. Someone might say they would exercise Tuesday mornings after dropping their daughter off at school. Essentially, this creates a trigger to remind you to exercise. When that group came back, 91% of people had exercised at least once a week. That's a massive, massive difference. Absolutely. This is insane. Wow. How could we do this in our marketing? Interesting. Really interesting. Miller's explanation is that when you've associated a particular behavior with a specific moment, that moment acts as a catalyst to convert intention to action. When Tuesday morning arrives in that example, that moment triggers the associated behavior. Many people interested in behavior change do the hard work of generating motivation, but they fall down because they don't do the simpler task of attaching a behavior to a very clear time, place, or mood. Really interesting. You can apply this principle commercially. Consider Snickers at their tagline, "You're not you when you're hungry." They associate consumption with the feeling of being hangry. The advertisements don't talk about the product and how tasty it is. They associate consumption very clearly with a particular moment. Other examples include Taco Tuesday, which associates the product with a specific day of the week. The campaign is strongly associated with celebration. In Britain, KitKat uses the line "Have a break, have a KitKat," which KitKat wrote in 1947. All of these are associating a product with a very clear time or place. Get in, besties, we're going to celebrate Taco Tuesday, Taco Bell. Rather than simply asking people to take your vitamins twice a day, you should say, take them after breakfast or take them before dinner, even if there's no pharmacological need for that specific timing. If you want people to fill in their timesheets at work, don't just say do it once a week. Say, do it on Friday morning. You've got to give people that trigger moment. That's the key element. By suggesting either subliminally, like Snickers does with "you're not yourself when you're hungry," or explicitly, like suggesting people exercise after lunch when they've just eaten a lot of food, you can dramatically increase the likelihood they take the action you want them to take. Really interesting. Motivation is a condition you need to set in place. You need to make your product desirable. But if you stop there, you've wasted all those efforts. You've wasted all those emails or television advertisements that generated that motivation. It's only when motivation is combined with a clear trigger, a clear time, place, or mood that you get the best conversion from intention to action. While the best examples of this principle come from the food category, you can apply this broadly. Even if you're selling luxury watches, you could associate purchase with a specific moment, such as when you've been promoted, that's the time to buy a Rolex. The experiments don't suggest any category limitation. The constraint is more often a lack of imagination among marketers who only look to their immediate competitors for inspiration. Really interesting. Already finished? Yep. Michael said this is a really interesting. That was a good article. I liked it. Wow. And a lot of research papers mentioned that I'll be going through. Really interesting. Okay. Michael Stelzner. Let's see. No social media connections. Shame. I would have followed you now. Nope. Nothing. Shame. Social Media Examiner. Good article. Good sauce. I like it. I think that's really interesting. For me personally, that with the timing, insane change. But maybe we did it in some campaigns without being that conscious. The pricing labels and everything that I knew of, we've done that quite a few times. Have had great results with that. Really interesting. It also works with a few examples where the more expensive stuff really is objectively the worst choice. There's really a few of these interesting takes. Wow, really interesting. You can see many other such little behavioral hacks on my channel. If you want me to do a deep dive once, leave it in the comments. We could do like a little an hour webinar where we go through some of the most commonly overlooked tricks that you can use. And with that, I think we're finished with that article. If you like what I do, if you enjoy me going through these articles, sharing information, sharing a bit of the experience that I have, my insights, and cross-referencing informations, then consider supporting this channel. Give me a like, follow the channel, subscribe to the channel. It's 1 or 2 clicks for you, costs you absolutely nothing, but it helps me tremendously and gives me a great sign that you want me to keep going with this kind of little media project. Like, as I said, I promised to do 100 live streams. We'll see how good it works and how much you guys like it. And with that, I wish you all the very best and jump right over to the next article. So let's save this article. That was an interesting one. Oh, wait. Let me look. Let me look at the clock. Let me look at the clock just to make sure. Oh, I've got time. Yeah, all right. Just got a meeting today. Important, big networking event, blah. So, I gotta get looking fancy. Got to look nice and fancy and everything, So let me post the article URL, the link into the chat for those who want it. It will also, of course, be in the description of the in the description of the of the video. There you go. Next article. Hacking the human mind, behavioral science. Yeah, that's going to be something that we'll look in. What is this? Oh, that's what I just looked at, huh? Yep. Michael Stelzner. Nope. Okay, this sounds nice. This sounds good and nice. Something that is important for all of us. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Next article for today. After all the technical articles the last week, like email marketing, how to set up the DKIF, how to the DCIM, how SPF, and then the kilobyte rate of websites and what's HTTP, what TCP, IP, and everything. We're going more into the meta level today again, it seems. But that's not bad. Not bad. We gotta switch it up always, right? So let's jump right into this article. It sounds interesting. The headline is good. How to impress your customers with greater results. A simple guide. AskAaronLee.com. Is that written by Aaron? As usual, making your clients happy and your customers happy is one of the most fundamental and most important thing. It is way more expensive usually to acquire a new client, a new customer, than it is to make your client that you have happier, get some extra points with them so that they become repeat customers and they talk good about you. So I'm very curious about this article now. How to impress your customers with greater results, a simple guide. Right? Let's face it. Yeah, yeah. Let's face it, impressing customers is one of the most important challenges facing any business owner. Can you see it well? Let me, yeah. A great first impression might not guarantee sales or loyalty, but a poor one could end your hopes of success before you've even had the chance to show what your company offers. Worse still, a lack of customers will translate to low sales figure and revenue. Here's how you can go the extra mile in 4 easy steps. Manage the sales process. It may seem a little odd to work your way back from the sales process. However, there's nothing worse than developing a marketing funnel only to lose sales at the last hurdle. With this in mind, understanding why you shouldn't use Venmo as a business is one of the first things to do. Okay, that I gotta look up. Switching to a more professional solution will boost the brand image. Crucially, you'll be able to collect data that subsequently facilitates further improvements. As well as the transaction, you need to master order fulfillment, and there's a typo, and use automated updates. Keeping customers happy before they've received the goods will leave a lasting impression on all prospects. Okay, well, I've got a lot to say. Let me keep reading, and then we'll see how if it's addressed or not. Master SEO and SEM. By now, it should be clear that digital marketing is the way forward. Even for a local company that doesn't sell items online, standing out on the internet is vital. Most users will search for products and services from smartphones, which is why almost half of all searches have a local intent. Therefore, investing in your search engine optimization is vital. It allows customers to discover your brand for themselves. Moreover, they are in the buyer's mindset. People associate a strong SEO ranking with trust. You can impress them further by building a large following on social media. Content marketing and regular user interactions will serve you well. For the best results, try to focus on the platforms used by your target audience. I think, at least to me, we are way in a different field than I anticipated with the headline. I gotta admit, this sounds more like, oh, do good marketing. Okay, like, yeah, you will have better social proof if you have more followers. Of course, it's like people will find you easier if you're ranked better in Google or Bing and so on. Of course, but that's not really a greater result for the customer. I hope. I hope will that in it. Let's see. Leverage success from outsiders. Internal marketing campaigns are important. Nevertheless, consumers are smarter than ever before. They want to see what other people have to say about your business. Influencer marketing is a very useful method as it grows your outreach and guarantees engagement. This can be supported further by affiliate marketing, as people will trust suggestions from friends and family. Even so, people appreciate that affiliates and influencers make money from the process. As such, they will also read reviews to see what impartial voices have to say. Going the extra mile to encourage customer reviews is key. Do this by sending email links and rewarding users with a small discount on their next purchases. Okay, again, it's more about acquisition than delivering great results. Upgrade your accountability. Modern consumers don't just judge businesses based on the products. In today's climate, they want to work with green brands and environmentally conscious companies. Understanding why you must now reduce carbon emissions is a vital step to success. It, Here again, it depends. I know everybody wants to say that. No, it's not the truth. It is not the truth. Yes, there is a portion in the segment of customers who think it's very important, but there is a significant portion of customers and clients who don't care. They want the best designer. They want the nicest car. They want the sexiest outfit, whatever. Okay? They don't care about sustainability. Yes, it's an important topic. Yes, it's better if you have it. But no, it's not everyone. It's not everyone. Far from everyone. Okay? I just want to say that. It's also worth noting that customer care doesn't only influence existing clients. Many new leads will seek further info before making a purchase. A responsive team of agents or chatbots will aid your cause. Other steps to secure better responses include improved packaging and informative video marketing. As long as you follow this up with the right products and services, your company future will look far brighter. Safe to drive. Aaron, this article I think was not good. Sorry. Ooh, like, sorry, it's not a good article in my opinion. Don't let me be that critical and negative, but I expected something else, because when I say how to deliver greater results, it's not about how to acquire customers. It's about how to deliver results that the client or customer thinks, wow. A few things that, just from my experience, I don't want to have you go away with absolutely nothing. One of the first things, how fast do you contact the customer? The faster you contact the customer, the better. How good do you lead them through the whole process? For example, a lot of customers and clients will judge your product, your end result, depending on the first steps in the funnel. Example, I order something from you, and then it's like, oh, we'll send you, let's take not an e-commerce shop where I just order something, but a service agency, service product, like, I have a service that I sell. And then it's like, oh, here you go. We will send you a bill. We will send you what we could do. And then it takes 2 or 3 days. That's a completely different thing than having an hour after the meeting. Hey, here's what's going to happen next. I will send this report to my coworker XYZ, to Sarah, and Sarah will contact you tomorrow with this. Then the next day, Sarah contacts them. In that moment, the client has they keep their promise. Sarah says, hello, I have gotten your file now. I will be reviewing the protocol of what you had, and in the next 24 hours, you will be sent the action plan, the whatever, for review if you are interested or not. Then the next day, they get that. After that, it's like, okay, sign it up. We're signed up. Our meeting is next week. An hour later, you get an email with, hey, next week is our first meeting. Here are some of the standard questions that people in your position have. Here's our FAQ or our video guideline or stuff like that. So if you want, you can prepare yourself for this meeting. And some of the typical questions that you have will be solved there. And suddenly you're feeling like, okay, they are really on point. They know what they're doing. They know how I feel. They know what the issues are that I'm going through. I've had that with a few clients, for example. In my agency, we do 3 levels of services. First level is for small businesses and solopreneurs. It's like you can't afford a lot. So we help you learn what to do on your own. Like, here's material so that you can do the first basics of marketing on your own. You're beginning, you don't have budget, but you have time and sweat equity, so you can work on it to make it work for your own, to make the revenue increase, and so on. And the second stage is we do it for you, and the third stage is we help you build your own marketing department. That's like how we do it. Our goal is always to bring you to the third level, but just saying. And often, or let me say not like often, but I as the expert, or we as the agency, are supposed to know each step and challenge that you will be going through. I already know that. If you start with, okay, I want to learn how to do content. Okay, super. You come in, we teach you that stuff. I talk to you about it, then I hold you responsible. And then I know after like 2 or 3 weeks, usually 80 to 85% of all clients who do this course or this measure start feeling, doing content is kind of pretty overwhelming. At first they thought, okay, I'll do it myself, and then it's like, it's more work than I thought. And that's why after those 2 weeks, I sent them something. I said, hey, just wanted to ask, how are you? Usually after 2 weeks to 3 weeks, I know many people start having issues with this and this and this. So I wanted just to send you this little YouTube video. Here are 3 videos for the usual challenges people have. So you know it's absolutely normal that you have that feeling, that you go through it right now, and so on. And I help them and anticipated which challenge they already have, which of course makes them realize, hey man, he really knows what he's talking about, because he anticipated the issue that I might have, and he made videos about it knowing that others have that issue, which is a completely different level of expertise and professionality than if I would have called, hey man, hey Matt, how it is going? And they're like, oh yeah, this and this is a problem. Oh, you got a problem with X? Okay, hey, I might send you something about it. Completely different. Of those people, quite a large percentage then says, you know what, I don't want to do it myself anymore. I'll pay for you guys to do it. Just saying. Okay, so like the upselling and everything works because this is the greater result. Give them what they need and be aware of the next step on their ladder. You as the expert should know what is the next issue that they will face. Okay, just as one of the many examples, you should have the whole onboarding process neatly done. It should be professional. I should feel well controlled. It should be hey, they really know what they're talking about. I feel like they've done this hundreds or thousands of times. I'm absolutely well taken care of. I can trust them to know the process. I will just lay back and do exactly what they say, and I've got the feeling that everything will work out. I would have hoped that there's many more such little things that you can upgrade, and like little knobs that you can turn to make this as efficient and great as possible. And I would have hoped this article has more about that. Also, always like over deliver. Keep a little aspect of what you're going to do secret from the client. So especially at the beginning, that they feel, wow, that was really extra work. Just my opinion. As I said, I'm not that, sadly not that happy with this article. But well, such is life. No problem. Aaron Lee. Nope. No social media to connect with. All right. Well, that's it. If you like what I do, if you enjoy me going through this article, sharing a bit of extra information, my experience, my opinions on this kind of stuff, cross-referencing it all, consider supporting this channel. Follow or subscribe to the channel. It's 1 or 2 clicks for you. Costs you absolutely nothing, but helps me tremendously and gives me the signal that you want me to keep doing this kind of stuff. This is an experiment. I'll do 100 live sessions, and then I'll decide, is it worth it or not? So your feedback is format will keep existing or not. And with that, I'll jump right over to the next article. Wish you all the very, very best. So, let me save this article. So, yeah, that's something I'll be reading later. Or tomorrow, maybe. How much time do I have? I've got time. Okay. Yeah, we got a few interesting things, let's just jump right into it, okay? Yeah. Well, let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. Right? There we go. Next article, let's see. Why you should stop using Venmo or Silly for business payments. Alright, let's see why. By Ryan Gibbons from north.com. Pretty old article. Just stumbled upon it now, but we'll see. Author today's point of sales. Can you read it well? They're better. Huh? Yeah. So, yeah. Oof. Author today's point of sales POS systems have made it easy for all types and sizes of businesses to accept credit cards. There might be times when you or your customer prefer to go a different route. Third-party iOS and Android payment applications like Venmo and Seller seem, at least on the surface, to be perfect avenues for quick and easy purchases that can happen even when a shopper doesn't have the wallet on hand. Dig a little deeper, however, and you will discover why these apps may not be such a good idea after all. Venmo and Seller in a nutshell. Known as peer-to-peer solutions, these apps are installed onto an Apple or Android device and are then connected to the user's credit card or bank account. Once this happens, payments can be either requested from or sent to anyone else on the network, including people who are not even on the user's direct contact list. These apps provide a fast and free way to exchange funds between individuals. Okay? Using a Venmo and Seller for business payments, the real truth. Considering that everyone has a mobile phone and most people carry it with them at all times, what could possibly be wrong with using a handheld device to submit a payment to you for goods or services? It's not that the phone itself is the problem. The sticking point lies in the nature of the applications themselves. Take the following factors into consideration. In terms of Venmo, you're technically prohibited from using its free personal payments platform for business purposes. Although Venmo does have a separate business app, they currently charge a non-refundable 1.9% plus 10-cent fee per transaction. Furthermore, Venmo for Business cannot integrate with most other popular business tools and has no ability to accept gratuities. For Seller, both you and your customer must be affiliated with the bank or credit union that offers the service. Additionally, you will need to be enrolled through your business account's mobile banking app. Peer-to-peer Seller and Venmo are not built for business use. Therefore, even if you decide to risk violating the app's policies and accept customer payments through the P2P app, you will soon discover that you will not have access to important merchant reporting tools that allow you to keep track of tax information and easily create monthly reports. As the extra work piles up, you may begin to make costly mistakes that your business cannot afford. Especially with Venmo, there are privacy issues. Unless customers know to set the transactions with you as private, notifications about it will be sent to the entire Venmo contact network. Concerns about customer protection. Once a Venmo or Seller payment is sent, it is difficult, if not impossible, to get it back. A customer who manually enters your contact details may, for instance, inadvertently mistype and end up sending the payment to someone else entirely. Particularly with Venmo, there's no way to get that money back. Although the mistake was made by the shopper and not you, it is sure to leave a very bad taste in the mouth that will likely tarnish your relationship. Potential big problem with the IRS. No one wants Uncle Sam to come and take a deep interest in their business books. Avoiding an audit at all costs seems to be a great idea for almost everyone. Unfortunately, the IRS has recognized that businesses are receiving large payments they're not paying the fair share of taxes on. To address this, the feds will be taxing all transactions over $600 and will be sending all P2P app users a 1099-K form each year that outlines every transaction that was made. Have we convinced you yet that using Venmo and Seller for business transactions isn't as smooth and easy a way to accept credit cards as you may have thought? If your answer is yes, you may be wondering if there's another option that will allow your customers to use their mobile devices to make fast and easy payments. In short, you can. Your merchant account provider or payment services representatives can help you update your current point of sale system to accept contactless payments. This technology allows buyers to simply place their device near your contactless reader to initiate and authorize a transaction. Security remains high because all details are properly encrypted and tokenized, from the time they are stored in the customer's digital wallet on their phone until they are transmitted to the various players in the payment process. When all is said and done, your guest can cash out safely and quickly at a low per transaction cost that you can afford. Best of all, your contactless POS solution should integrate with your other tools to allow you to take advantage of the array of reporting, inventory, customer relationships, and sales forecasting features that can streamline your entire operations. Apps like Venmo and Seller are perfect if you're splitting the cost of a pizza among friends. However, the stakes are much higher when you're providing services to your valued customer base. Leave the P2Ps to the intended purpose, and you and your customer will likely be happier in the long run. Okay. Okay. But pretty basic, but okay, I liked it. I liked the article. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have much to say about it. I never use these things, neither privately nor in the businesses that I have as clients. We usually set up proper old school mechanism. I don't want to say any companies, but like old fashioned proper point of sales and top plugins and everything, payment processing and so on. Why? Because it's not worth the hassle and the trouble to have accounts blocked or anything or lose contact. Just do it properly. Just do it properly. Well, with that, I think it was a nice article. Good. Hope it convinces some of you not to do that. If you ask me, I would tell you not to do that too. So we'll see how it goes. As usual, if you like what I do, if you enjoy me going through these articles, if you feel like it's good that I share these informations with you, consider supporting this channel, follow or subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot, costs you absolutely nothing, but it gives me the feedback that you want me to keep doing this kind of format. I've decided to do 100 live streams and test it out. If I get positive feedback, I will keep doing it. If not, it's going to be a graveyard of an experiment, such as life. And with that, I'll jump right over to the next article. Wish you all the very, very best. So, this was okay article, I guess. Kind of okay. Like, okay. Here's the articles that we went through. Let me share the articles in the chat. Just so you have it. There. Just taking a short second. So, this is the next one. Yeah, I forgot the last one from Aaron to LinkedIn because it wasn't a good article, so I didn't jump into the I should share it mindset, in all honesty. But that's how it goes sometimes. It's like, that's just how it goes. Sometimes you have good articles that I think are worth sharing, and sometimes I don't. That's just how it works, sadly. Why? Because that's life. So. Next article. Yes. Okay, I'm really curious now because I think I'm messing this up in some way, in all honesty. There we go. From price comparison pioneer to Google CSS expert, how to dominate your niche on Google Shopping. Interesting topic. We jump right into it. By Ingmar Albert, written for PPC Hero. Let's jump into it. Summarize. Oh man, that's insane. Wow. Well, okay. Let's jump into it. So, can you read it well? Maybe a bit bigger this way. Yeah. Over a decade ago, I was the founder and CEO of a thriving international price comparison company. Back then, our business was booming. 7-digit monthly ad spends with Google, 8-digit revenues, and over 100 million paid leads delivered annually to thousands of online shops worldwide. Google was our closest partner until they decided to go against us. When Google launched Google Shopping, the goal was clear: dominate the price comparison sector by pushing existing providers out of the market. Overnight, I had to shut down my company, lay off employees, and liquidate our business. Like many others, we were forced to sue Google for abusing its dominant position. Those lawsuits eventually led to the Google CSS program, which required Google to pay billions in penalties. Fast forward to today, and I run AdStrong, a company helping others maximize the benefits of the Google CSS program. Benefits I fought for over a decade ago. Currently, we manage over 20% of all Google CSS accounts globally. Okay, Ahmed, what is Google CSS? Comparison Shopping Center. Aha. Comparison shopping partners. Okay, interesting. I was really confused there because I thought we were in the web development CSS, like cascading style sheets. Okay, let's see. In this article, I'll explain what the CSS program is, why it matters, and how businesses can leverage it to dominate the niche in Google Shopping in 2025. All right, understanding the Google CSS program. The Google CSS program, Comparison Shopping Services, emerged from the antitrust lawsuits against Google, ensuring fair competition in the price comparison sector. Essentially, it provides Google certified price comparison companies with a unique status and privileges. If you run shopping ads in Europe, including the UK and Switzerland, you're using a CSS provider. This could either be Google Shopping Europe, the default, or another provider you select. The provider you choose is visible via the small Buy CSS link at the bottom of shopping ads. Why does it matter? If you use the default provider, Google Shopping Europe, they take a hidden percentage of your ad spend. This fee is higher than what third-party CSS providers charge, meaning part of your budget goes directly to Google rather than towards ad placements. Early estimates put this fee at around 20%. So today it's likely slightly lower, but still substantial. Wow. Most online marketers stop here. They focus only on cost per click benefits, but the real power of Google CSS lies beneath the surface. Beyond CPC, unlocking Google CSS provider benefits. While CPC boosts are helpful, they don't give you a lasting competitive advantage. To truly dominate your niche, you need to explore CSS provider benefits, which include visibility in shopping ads. The Google CSS link is highly visible, often more so than the shop name. Clicking this link generates free traffic and massive branding for the CSS provider. Branding and prestige. Agencies and shops using their own CSS can increase their visibility and perceived expertise, enhancing trust and market positioning. Strategic growth. CSS status gives access to additional Google support, certifications, and resources that can improve campaign performance. Okay. CSS setups. From zero to hero. Understanding the evolution of CSS setups helps businesses leverage the program effectively. No CSS. 1. Using Google Shopping Europe by default, you lose part of your ad spend and hinder your ability to compete. 2. Third-party CSS. Most advertisers use conventional CSS providers. You gain a CPC boost and avoid giving your budget away, but competitive advantage is limited since everyone receives similar boosts. 3. AdStrong Agency CSS. Agencies get their own agency CSS to host a client shopping ads. Benefits include branding and shopping ads, free traffic from the Buy CSS link, Google status empowerment, support, certifications, technical resources. Agencies gain a strategic growth asset while clients benefit from CPC boosts and additional free traffic. 4. AdStrong Keyword CSS. The ultimate setup for large online shops. Shops become their own CSS providers, choosing keyword-based CSS names rather than brand names. This increases ad relevance, click-through rates, and performance. Example includes using category keywords for visibility in a specific segment, showcasing USPs directly in the CSS name, market positioning, and quality messaging. Case studies of our AdStrong customers show impressive results. A large retailer saw a 70% CTR increase after switching to a keyword CSS. Another client achieved 27% lift by replacing a brand CSS with a keyword as a CSS. Keyword CSS ensures free traffic benefits to shop rather than competitors. That's interesting. Good numbers, really interesting. How to get your own CSS. There are 2 ways to become a CSS provider. Create your own price comparison portal. Requires listing at least 50 merchants per country, integrating sorting and filtering features, and passing Google's CSS application process. Use AdStrong. Plug-and-play solution with Google compliant price comparison portal, free clicks booster, complete management and security, zero downtime or technical hassle. With the right setup, your CSS becomes more than a CPC boost. It becomes a strategic asset to grow your visibility, reputation, and revenue. Key takeaways. Don't just think about the CPC boost. The CSS program offers much more if used strategically. CSS can be leveraged as a growth asset, delivering branding, free traffic, and Google support. Becoming a CSS provider is now accessible to everyone, either by creating your own portal or by partnering with a professional provider like AdStrong. The Google CSS program isn't just about saving money, it's about creating competitive advantage, increasing relevance, and dominating your niche on Google Shopping. If you want to dominate your niche, explore CSS provider setups today. Whether you're an agency or an online shop, the right strategy can turn a simple CPC boost into a powerful marketing tool. Okay. Got to admit, I was not that aware of this. This sounds interesting. Ingmar Bird. Oh no, that's already something I looked at. CEO and founder at AdStrong, of course, it was a bit of his own, like, self-plug. But you will be finding out about this Google CSS expert, how this works and everything, because I will be researching it, and I will give you all the information and the results that I find about it. Also interesting, Ingmar, let's connect. And without a note, I think if you find interesting posts or stuff that you like, you can always connect with people. It's a great idea. Also, if you want to connect with me, you will find me on pretty much all social media, usually with my name. Just click in my name and you will find me, because I've got a pretty unique name, because it was, as far as I understand, was written wrong when I was a kid or something. Like, who cares? No, that was an interesting article. Been a while since I found out something really new for myself. Ingmar Albert, I like that. I will be deep diving into the topic, that's for sure. And with that, I hope you like what I do. If you guys and girls enjoy what I do, that I go through the live sessions like this, read articles, try to find out more trends, more information, add my own expertise and knowledge, and cross-reference information, and then consider supporting this channel, because I've made the decision to do 100 live streams and see if you guys like it. And if you do, support the channel, like it, follow, subscribe, depending on how it's called. It's 1 or 2 clicks for you, costs you absolutely nothing, but it's tremendously positive for me, and it gives me the signal that you guys want me to keep doing this. Okay, so consider it. And with that, I'll be jumping right over to the next article. Wish you all the very, very best. Interesting. I really made a big mistake here, because I would have thought the CSS is cascading style sheet, and I was like, okay, what does CSS have to do with Google Shopping? I was really curious about it. Link to the article will be as usual in the description below. Let me share it. Let me share it in the chat. Link to the article, just so you can go through it if you want to. There you go. Yep. Not such a bad article. Oh, I only got time for one short one. It's too long. I won't read it without you, don't worry. I just don't have that much time, because I gotta prepare myself. That's a long one too. That's a long one. That's a short one. Want the full article? I can't. I don't have the free access. Is this one I can read completely? Yes? Yeah, all right, let's go through this one. Let's go through. Yeah, let's go through this one. Let me test this. Can I delete this part? No, 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 I don't want to delete the main. I want this. Yeah, this one. No, 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 no. Yeah, the side. Yeah, didn't really help, huh? Nope. Yeah, yeah. Once I get this big, it works. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Let me delete the menu up there. Yeah, all right. So, made a little screenshot. Now let's go through it. So, next article. Broken Link Building Strategies by Neil Patel. Let's see how well it goes. Can you see? Yeah, the text is working well. So, do you ever feel like you're doing all the right things for SEO but not seeing the organic traffic you deserve? There's a strategy out there you may not have considered. It flies under the radar but can still lend you high authority backlinks without creating brand new content. Broken link building. Okay. I've got strategies that work with broken links where you contact other people. Going to be curious what he defines as this strategy. There are thousands of broken backlinks out there that point to dead pages. It's wasted link equity waiting for someone to claim it. Yeah, exactly. Why shouldn't that be you? In this guide, I'll show you exactly where and how to find broken links, pitch your content as a replacement, and boost your rankings and domain authority with content you've already written or made. It's a low effort, high upside link strategy worth your time. Key takeaways. Broken link building turns dead links into SEO wins. By replacing broken backlinks with your own content, you help site owners improve user experience while earning high authority links for yourself. Exactly. Links go bad all the time. Pages get deleted, site structures change, URL are mistyped, and entire domains shut down. Each of those creates an opportunity for you to step in with a better resource. True. The best opportunities come from competitors and resource pages. Tools like Ubersuggest, Ahrefs, SEMrush, and Screaming Frog make it easy to spot broken backlinks you can target. Quality matters more than volume. Focus on authoritative, relevant domains and create content that matches or improves on the original resource. That's what makes webmasters willing to update the links. Outreach is the make or break step. Keep your communication short, helpful, and human. Finding the right contact and offering real value is what turns a cold email into a lasting relationship. What is broken link building and why is it useful? Broken link building is finding dead links on other sites and suggesting your content as a replacement. It's one of the smartest ways to build higher quality backlinks without creating content from scratch. You can reap the benefits by earning a link because you're helping site owners fix their user experience issues. Links can go bad for a variety of reasons. Maybe the original page was deleted or a website changes site structures. Sometimes the URL might be wrong or the domain ceases to exist completely. Whatever the cause, a broken link equals a poor user experience and lost SEO value. That's where you come in. Fixing these links by offering relevant, helpful content improves the referring site's authority and boosts your rankings and traffic. It's a win-win opportunity and a solid addition to any internal linking or domain authority growth strategy. But how do you find those broken links anyway? And what should you do to contact site owners about this problem? How to find broken links? There are two sides to finding a broken backlink opportunity. Number one, broken links on your site. Number two, broken links on other sites you can replace. Before you look elsewhere, it's worth checking your site for broken inbound or outbound links. Backlink. Tools like Ubersuggest, Screaming Frog, Ahrefs, and SEMrush can scan for 404 errors across your site's pages. There are many others. You can Google like a backlink checker, a broken link checker. That's it. Inbound links point to deleted pages, outbound links that lead to dead URLs. Ubersuggest Sites Audit feature checks every link on your site. If one shows a 404 error, it will appear in the report. Fixing existing 404 errors on your site is great, but the real link building begins when you look at other people's broken backlinks. Enter a competitor's URL into tools like Ahrefs Site Explorer. Filter by 404 not found and look at pages with links pointing to them. If you have relevant content or can quickly create it, pitch it as a replacement. This works especially well in resource pages, like blog posts or directories full of helpful tools, guides, or statistics. If they're linking to that page, it's a great opportunity to slide in with a recommended replacement. And while not every broken link will be worth your time, high authority domains or pages with multiple backlinks can lead to serious SEO update. Broken link building best practices. Review link prospects. Not every broken link is worth chasing. You want links from high authority relevant domains, the kinds of pages that still get traffic and offer clear value to your niche. Before you do anything else, assess the referring page. Does it make sense for your content to be there, and does it align with your expertise? Use tools to get a snapshot of the page's authority and backlink profile. If the referring domain is weak or spammy, move on. Understand why the original content earned the link. Maybe it had a compelling statistic or offered a unique resource. Knowing what made it link worthy helps you create something that meets the same need or improves on it. A good match makes your replacement more natural and incentivize the site owner and to update it. Example, how you can use it, Wayback Machine. Look at the old page when it existed, what the article was like, what the page was like. Yes, this is quite a bit of work. Yes, it is. You will have to go through it. You will have to contact them, create content and everything. Still, it's worth it. Wikipedia that link technique. Wikipedia is a top ranking site because it's a great source of info about almost any topic, but it's a goldmine for broken link building if you do it ethically, focusing on where you can provide value versus spamming your links. Some pages can suffer from link rot, where pages lose citations because the links are dead. This is your opening, but you have to be careful about how you pitch it. It's like maintenance pages and category all articles with that external links. Use a simple search like sitewikipedia.org your topic that link to find relevant articles. Scroll down to references and look for those marked as inactive. Check the original content using the Wayback Machine to see what it covered. If you have something that covers the same topic, although more updated or in-depth, you might try submit it as a replacement. Wikipedia links are no-follow, so they can't pass SEO authority directly, but the value comes from visibility and second-tier links. When other sites reference Wikipedia, they may follow your citation. But don't just rush in and start dropping links. Credibility is important. You can build it by making non-promotional edits. Quality counts, and it's better to play the long game. Also, a very important thing is, nowadays, we don't quite know. We don't know yet, but the whole AI and LLM thing, they really source a lot from Wikipedia. So it works well, most likely, if you or your company or your stuff, content is in the sources. Really might help you be more likely to be mentioned in the LLM results, in the AI overview, and so on. Using guest content to replace broken links. Sometimes it's tough to convince site owners to link directly to your site. Guest content can help. Instead of asking them to link to your blog, create an article, a guest post on a respected third-party site that covers the same topic as the dat source. Once it's live, you can suggest that article as a replacement. Let's say you find dozens of links pointing to a now defunct beginner's guide to content marketing. Instead of pitching your own blog post, you can write a fresh guide for a trusted publisher like Entrepreneur or HubSpot. When you reach out to webmasters, still linking to the broken page, you point them to your new article as a reliable alternative. But because it's already on an existing third-party site, it feels better to them. This approach works because it's often less promotional and gives the site master credible replacement. At the same time, you benefit from the visibility and authority of the site hosting your guest content. Using expired domains to find opportunities. When a site goes offline or the domain expires, links pointing to it don't disappear, they break. That's where opportunity lives. Find expired domains in your niche that once hosted valuable content and pitch your own work as a replacement. Use a tool like expireddomains.net to search for specific keywords and filter for those with strong backlink profiles. Analyze which pages had the most links using the tools listed above. If they still exist but point to that content, you now have a target list. You can see here, for example. Reach out to sites still linking and offer your content as a replacement, especially if you have statistics. It's a great fit when the original resource was widely referenced or lived on a highly trusted site. Just make sure your content delivers comparable or better value, because no one wants to swap in a low effort piece for something readers once relied on. Create replacement content. Yep. This is important. Like really don't spam it. I've seen a lot of automatically generated content that's really just very shallow and bad quality, and then people wonder, oh, why don't I get this? So, like, create something that is interesting, that is good enough to be shared. Okay, even if it sounds vague, but like, do something. Always consider the other person is giving you a state on their side. They know that it's worth it. They know that you gain from it. So you want the fair exchange. And the fair exchange means that you give something that is of value to them. And what is of value to them? Something that is so good that they get good reputation and more visitors on their pages. Create replacement content. Sometimes link opportunities exist, but your content doesn't. Start by reviewing a broken page using the Wayback Machine. What was the topic and what made it valuable? Seek sites that it offered original data or research that earned its authority or trust in its time. Once you know what it delivered, consider how to improve it. Your goal isn't to copy, but to provide updated details or a more modern take. Even improving the UX can help replace the original. The best replacement content emphasizes clarity and usefulness, such as comprehensive guides or data-driven posts accompanied by visual resources. Links that help solve problems are great too. When you're ready to reach out, you'll have a pitch-ready link that genuinely benefits the site owner and the audience. Refining your broken link building outreach. Outreach is where most broken link building efforts fall apart. You've done the research and found strong opportunities, but if your email reads like spam, you're done. Take time to identify the right person to contact. I'm going to be honest, this is the hardest part of it. Use LinkedIn, the site's about page, or email tools to find the editor, webmaster, or content manager. Don't just send it to generic inbox. Keep your message short and direct. Don't bury the ask under fluff. Let them know you came across the article, noticed a broken link, and thought your content might be a good replacement. Tone matters. Avoid sounding like a sales pitch. Be helpful, polite, and clear about what you're offering. Mention the original content's value and explain why your piece fits just as well, or better if applicable. If you don't get a reply, wait a few days and send a short follow-up. No pressure, just a reminder. Most importantly, keep things human. The goal isn't a backlink by itself, but a relationship that can pay off in the long term. Yep. Conclusion. Broken link building fixes errors on other sites, but the bigger picture is that it turns missed opportunities into lasting SEO gains, especially in the world of search everywhere optimization. When you find broken backlinks and create or repurpose valuable content to replace them, you can earn links that improve your rankings and credibility. But the real power is that it scales. When you reclaim lost links on your site or uncover gaps in competitor content, each replacement adds authority to your brand. Combine it with smart digital PR strategies and thoughtful internal linking, and you can see compounding results over time. Like any SEO strategy, it takes patience. But when done well, broken link building can become one of the most effective and sustainable ways to grow your SEO. Neil Patel, co-founder of NP Digital and owner of Uber Suggests. Good, always good articles. I like quite a few of the information he's putting out. I think it was a very good topic. Broken link building strategies. Yes, it is something that is very labor intensive, very time intensive. I have not yet found a very good automation for it. I know some people tried to pitch automation, but what I've seen was garbage. So far, most of it is absolutely garbage that won't be accepted by most webmasters. But it's interesting. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yes, we do that too. I have used those strategies. Absolutely. It's something that, especially when you're a local, small niche and everything. I've got another video on my channel about how to get more backlinks, which was a bit of a different thing on my YouTube channel. Let me just look it up, just so I can tell you to look it up. The article, the link to this article will of course be down in the description below when I have it. For those of you who know, Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there. Article I went through recently: 10 ways any business can earn local backlinks. Article review was by Bambi Fraser. That was on MSIF. MSIF, I think it was, right? Interesting little article. You can find out for yourself how to get more backlinks. Combining that method with the broken backlink one is really, really a great method. It's going to work out awesome. With that, I hope you like what I do. If you enjoy me going through these articles, doing these live sessions where I deep dive into some of the articles, share my own experience, cross-reference it with other topics and other materials. If you like that, consider supporting the channel. Leave a like, subscribe, follow the channel. It helps me tremendously and it costs you absolutely nothing, just 1 or 2 clicks. Right now I'm doing an experiment of this format, doing 100 live streams to see if you guys and girls like it or not. So if you want me to keep doing this, you better give me any kind of positive signal, okay? Any kind. I need it. I need it to know if you want me to keep doing that. And with that, I'll jump right over to the next article. Thank you very much and I wish you all the very, very best. But I think this time I am not going to read another article. We've had enough of it today. Because I've got a network event, and after the networking event, I have to get some work done. Yes, I also have work to do. Sadly, I can't always just do this kind of stuff. Sadly, I have to do real work too. And with that, yeah, I think that's it for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for investing the time watching this live stream as usual. I thank you all very, very much. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate you taking the time, being here, watching it. I will be working on making this much better. Each stream should be a little bit better than the last one. I've got to learn a lot of stuff. Again, if you like what I do, really consider giving me any kind of positive feedback because, well, that's what I need to know that it works and that you're interested in this. And with that, I wish you all the very, very, very best, and I hope you all have a great day.